Hey guys, Cockerpunk coming to you with the newest installment of the pump gun reviews videos. This one is my pump Automag. These guys are actually kind of rare these days. They were never incredibly popular, which makes them hard to get a hold of these days. But they're kind of a nifty piece of technology. Basically, it's a broken Automag. So what happens is, how it works is, let me show you. You got the Automag valve, which is just a integrated regulator on the back here with a blow-forward design, similar to maybe the G3 or a gun like that. So now what happens is, on a regular one, is the air obviously pushes this forward, fires the power pulse and compresses the spring, and then as the pressure dropped in here, the spring overcomes it and drives it back. Well, what drives it back on is this latches onto a sear, this edge here, and holds it back while the dump chamber fills again. Now, on a pump gun, you obviously need some sort of mechanical interaction. So what happens is, I don't think you can actually see it here, but the best way to explain it is this guy. See how it's at an angle there? Now, obviously that wouldn't work on a normal pump gun, but what happens is this rod goes into a groove that's milled into this rail, and then it kind of comes up into the body of the gun. And so what happens is, when this thing fires, it blows forward, fires a power pulse, comes back, and then it hits this. This is a wave spring. Oops. This is a wave spring, and what it basically does is induces bolt stick. So the bolt is stuck like this. The chamber won't fill because the trigger can't return all the way, and the bolt is pushed open. So what happens is this little rod here comes up and it just pushes on this, and it's about 1 millimeter, less than that probably actually, 1 millimeter. Pushes this back on the sear, dump chamber fills, you're ready to shoot again. So it's basically a broken semi. It also means that the pump stroke on this gun is phenomenal, because really, you're not recocking a hammer, you're not dropping a little lug sear guy like in a Nelson gun. This part of the pump, until the very end, is totally and completely doesn't matter. Only when you hit the end of it are you actually hitting any resistance, and that's when you're pumping it. So it makes a pump stroke very, very smooth. Which is why they're kind of popular. They also fit all the different Automag bodies and frames and rails and all that sort of stuff. The problem is you have to get your body milled and your rail milled before you can put a pump kit on it. Now, pump kits is another issue, because there's about 3 different kinds of pump kits. This is a Rain Man 229 pump kit. If you guys don't know who Rain Man is, he's probably one of the more popular, best known airsmiths of the modern age. You know, we used to have lots of different airsmiths back before performance came from a circuit board, who would do gun modifications and stuff like that. Like Doc Nichols, one of them. You know, Punishers, Customs. There's a few other ones too. A lot of them started their own companies. You know, Danny Love and Shock Tech and stuff like that. But Dan Bonebreak, these kind of guys. But Rain Man does a lot of custom machining and stuff. He's on M. Carter Brown. But he made this pump kit for Automags. And the other one is by like Serbius Innovations on automags.org. And then there's also an AGD pump kit that only uses one rod, but it's actually elliptical, which is kind of cool. Solves the problem of pump twist without using 2 rods. So yeah, it's kind of cool. How you manufacture that, I have no idea. Really easy to drill a round hole. It's really hard to drill a non-round hole. Just doesn't work. So you have to use it's basically a die. But anyway, the pump stroke is very smooth on these guys. It's also really nice because it's a single tube gun. So like me, I love Phantoms. Easy to aim, fast on target. Just feels right. You most of the time see these with a classic stainless steel valve, but they're still not very heavy. This might be a little bit heavier, than say an S6, but it's not terribly heavy. It's probably my ideal open class gun, really, but I don't play very much open class. Another huge advantage you have is this gun actually operates from an open bolt. It's an open bolt pump, yes. Because like I said, the bolt will come back because of the return spring, but it just kind of floats there, not quite far enough back to fill the dump chamber and reset the trigger, but it is far enough that another shot can load. Which is nice because we don't have to worry about rollouts because we have a detent and we can use any barrels and stuff that we want. It really is an advantage in that regard. Mine just has this, this is a composite, they call it, trigger frame. These were the trigger frames that came on Automags throughout the 90s. They're incredibly strong, absolutely ridiculously strong. I was working on an Automag once, and this screw was rusted in, and I could not get it out for the life of me. So my plan was, I'll just bang on the trigger frame with a hammer, right? Like, I seriously, like, hurt myself trying to break this frame with a hammer. It is a strong frame. These Automag plastic frames, pretty comfortable too with the air gun grips. So I don't have any problem with it. And another thing about the trigger, which is, like I said, related to the operation of the gun, the dump chamber doesn't fill until you pump it. So what that means is the trigger, the little pin that holds the trigger, doesn't poke out and return the trigger until you pump it. So it kind of, it doesn't have an auto trigger, but it kind of has a different kind of feel to it, because you can feel the trigger activate when you're shooting in a burst. So you can shoot pretty dang quick with something like this. So you can also modify these to be stock class, because this diameter is very similar to the diameter of a Phantom. So you can pull this feed neck off, drill it for a stock class feed, stuff like that. So they're pretty versatile guns. They're kind of rare. And they're kind of, I don't know, I really like this gun. I would keep this gun, but I'm dead broke, and I need to get rid of it for the high-speed camera. But it is a tremendously great gun, the Pump Automag. If you ever get a chance to get a hold of one, they go for between $300 and about $650, depending on options and how custom they are. They were never a factory gun, so pretty much everyone is as the user built it. So they're interesting machines though, and definitely some AGD innovation in them. So anyway, that's my Automag review. Oh, actually, I did want to say the one thing I got to bust Rain Man's balls about, because this caused me problems early on. Since all you're doing with the pump is pushing back the bolt, there's nothing preventing the pump kit from just falling off the front, except the AGD one has kind of a thing that screws on the front that holds the pump handle on, but Rain Man wanted to use CCM handles, so he did, and he couldn't do that. So what he has here is that this is a groove that's milled into the pump arm, and what there is right here there's a little set screw that rides in that groove, and so that groove there prevents it from obviously falling off the front. Well, it prevents it to some extent. I've pulled the pump kit off the front of this gun before. You just gotta, when you're setting it up properly, just gotta be careful about that set screw and get it in right. It just has to be quite tight, tighter than one would expect, because this groove is not very thin or thick or deep. Deep. That's the word I was looking for. So, but other than that, I mean, great quality, very smooth and everything like that. It's just, you kind of got to be careful about that. Other than that, yeah, excellent shooting gun. Excellent shooting gun. It's great to not have to worry about rollouts. It's got an integrated reg, so you don't have to upgrade anything. Just a single tube, so it's light and fast. It's a nice gun. So, I'll catch you guys later, though. We'll have more of these. I promise the Phantom one will be coming up soon, and you'll see me giddy as a schoolboy. So, talk to you later.